Hey folks, Style by Mr. Reed here. It is still very snow and ice laden on my side of town, much like the majority of you all are dealing with as well. So, with that, it came to me that I may need to address a thing that we may realize, but then again, we may not realize. It's a reality during times like this. So, we're going to talk a bit about cabin fever. Cabin fever is essentially what happens when you're cooped up in the house for a long period of time. And it could be mainly due to things like this, like snowstorms and things like that. Those of you that remember the COVID 19 quarantine thing that happened, that was a very big cabin fever ridden time period. I know a lot of us would not like to revisit that at all. So, for the next few days, it looks like we're going to be dealing with a bit of being stuck inside. Now, some of us, luckily, will be able to get out of our neighborhoods, get out of the parking lots and things like that. But some folks may still be kind of trapped in. So, I want to bring this to your attention. I've written down a few things. And if you notice, in a lot of my videos, I'm going to have this portfolio pad here. That's where I write down all of my notes and everything. I like to make sure that I am remembering what I'm saying. And I don't want to rely just on my memory. I want to make sure I'm saying the right things to you all. This content is really for you. It's for you. And I want to make sure I give it to you the best that I can. So, without further ado, I've written down a few things. The four things mainly that are the indicators of being a victim of cabin fever, if you will: irritability, loneliness, lethargy, and changes in sleeping patterns. So we'll talk about each of these things real quick here. The irritability is essentially you being in the house day in, day out, looking at the same four walls. If someone's there with you, talking to the same person, or having to see the same person, when on a regular basis you're not used to being around that person this much. And you're not used to being in home that much. So you're going to naturally be a bit more irritable. Also, if you're someone who likes to be out and about, and right now you can't be as out and about as you would like to be, well, this is a very trying time for you. Now, I understand you because I love my home. I love my place. But I also like getting out of here. I don't like staying home often. So, that's one of the things you need to be able to look out for is irritability. The next thing, loneliness. For those that do not have anyone that live with them, especially those that are not in any type of romantic relationships at all, this right here, the loneliness factor, the fact that you're not dealing with anyone or you don't have anyone that you can share space and time with on any type of regular basis. Right now, when you have no choice but to be stuck at home, the reality of that is settling in more. Um, and while on a regular basis, you're going to work, you're in traffic, you're going to happy hour, you're going to this thing, you're going to that thing, you've got things to do. When you sitting still, that loneliness will begin to settle in some more. So that's another thing to be able to look out for. What's the next thing on the list here? Lethargy. Here's where it gets very tricky. A lot of people don't realize that while sleeping in feels good, oh man, I don't have to get up early. Oh, I can just curl up and just, oh, enjoy the sleep some more. That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Sleeping in disrupts your normal sleep pattern, which is why it's so difficult to get back on track when it's time to get back on track. Usually these things happen on the weekends. Because on the weekends, oh, I don't have to get up early for work in the morning. I don't have to get up and do this and do that. So I'm going to sleep in. Now, when it's time to face the reality, if you will, that Monday morning cometh soon. Now, oh man, let me go ahead and get myself ready here. Let me go ahead and get ready to face the weekend, face the work week again. If you stay on normal sleep pattern, that's going to help you make any type of adjustments, especially during a time like this when you're going to be in the house more. That's going to make things a lot easier for when it's time to get back on track. Um, Another thing with oversleeping, there's no such thing as making up sleep. If you didn't sleep enough yesterday, the day before, or whatever, taking a nap roughly 15 to 20 minutes at max, that's enough. That's really enough to get your body back in a regulated state. Anything more than that, what you're going to do is take the entire cycle and just throw it all in the trash. So now what you're going to be doing is you're going to be trying to sleep again later that night, but now you can't sleep later that night because you are wide awake. You've completely thrown your cycle off altogether. Don't try to make up for sleep. You can't make up for sleep. The only thing you can do is maybe if you are not able to get your normal sleep one particular day, tough it out for that day and go to sleep at your regular time that night. Don't try to oversleep in order to make up for sleep. You can't do that. It doesn't work like that. That's only going to hurt you. It's not going to help you. And especially during times like this when everyone is snowed in for the most part. I think at this point, some people are starting to get back out more into their regular lives. But that possibility of just staying in and just rolling around in bed and just being a complete potato, that's not as beneficial as you may think it is. It may actually be very detrimental to you. So that goes right into the next thing, which is changes in your sleep patterns. You're going to do this automatically. And that comes from that lethargy, the fact that you don't have to get up, and mainly because you don't have to get up and go to work because maybe work is canceled for the day or school is canceled for the day. So, well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to sleep it off, sleep all day. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not good for you. That's not good for you. Don't do that. So the changes in your sleep patterns, because at some point you're going to need to get right back on track again. And your responsibilities do not care about the fact that you overindulged in your sleep. And now you're all lost. So, what are some things that we can do to combat against all of these things that are symptoms of cabin fever? Okay, the one thing I have written down here is catch up on some house cleaning. That's very important because the one thing you don't want to do is, well, you don't want to have a pigsty for a home in the first place. You definitely don't want to spend days on end in that pigsty. Clean that place up. One of the most important things that you can do for your mental health and your mental clarity is cleaning your place. Making sure that whatever needs to be swept is swept. Whatever needs to be mopped is mopped. Whatever needs to be vacuumed is vacuumed. Beds need to be straightened up and made. Pillows on couches, things like that. Make sure these things are the way they're supposed to be. Dishes, make sure dishes are done as they're supposed to be done. Laundry, make sure laundry is done. Have clean clothes. Another thing that goes into that, make sure you include yourself in the home cleaning regimen. Meaning, take a bath. Yes, I know you don't have to hurry up and take the quick shower that you normally take before you hurry up and get out the door to go to work, but just because you don't have to doesn't mean you should just let it fall by the wayside. Get up, get in that shower, get clean. If you're a guy, shave. Shave what needs to be shaved. Take care of yourself. Do all the things you're supposed to do. Make sure that you are exfoliating when you're in the shower. If you need to cut your nails while you're in there. Do what I heard a few years ago, have an everything shower. Cut your nails. Uh, Exfoliate everything. Shave as you need to. Uh, Take care of your feet. Scrub your feet. Make sure you are all the way right. And when you get out of that shower, pat yourself dry. Do not scrub your skin. Pat yourself dry. Moisturize. When you're taking care of your facial routine, all the things that are necessary to make sure that your facial skin, because the skin on your face is different from the skin on the rest of your body. And understanding what's needed for each section of your body is paramount. I will go much more into this once you become my client by going on to stylebymrreid.com, STYLEDBYMRREID, stylebymrreid.com. Taking a look around, see what speaks to you, book your session with me, and let's get you to the best you that you can be. And I'm simply going to be your mirror check before you hit that front door. So, if you want more tips and tricks uh, and information on your skincare routine and all the things that are necessary when you take your shower, book your session with me. Become my client so that you can get to the best you that you can be. So, take your shower, groom yourself properly, brush your teeth, all the things. Clean out the ear wax in your ear. Clean out all the boogers and all the dead hairs out of your nose. Clean all that stuff. And put on some actual clothes. Now, I'm not saying put on dress clothes, especially if you're not leaving the house at all. But put on something decent. Put on something that if if a very important dignitary just magically decided to stop by and knock on your door and say, "Hey man, hey woman, I need to get in here. I need to use the restroom." You need to look in a certain way that that person would not say, "Oh my God." So I mean that's a little example. I'm just using my imagination. But the bottom line is this: put on something. Put on something, not raggedy, old, beat up, holes all over the place, rips this place and that place, and all that stuff. You got dingy spots all over it, and the crotch area is all worn out, and the underarm area's got all the stains from all the years of sweat and all that. No, no. Put on a decent pair of pants. Put on a decent shirt. Even if you're just staying in the house, put on something decent because you are presenting your overall presentation package, not just to everyone that you interact with when you're out and about on a regular basis, but you're also interacting with yourself. You're showing yourself how to treat yourself. You are showing yourself whether or not you deserve respect. You can't demand respect from others if you have not demonstrated some respect for yourself. So, even if you're staying in the house, get dressed, put some clothes on, put on something, and like I said earlier, you don't have to put on like a suit or your good summer dresses or whatever. Put on something that looks decent. Do that. Where am I at now? That's right. Next thing, and this is why I look at these things when I talk to you all, because sometimes I might get off to a tangent and forget what I'm talking about. So, here's the next thing. Try to keep your sleep pattern. Try to keep your normal sleep pattern. If you normally get up at 6 o'clock every day. Don't let being snowed in change that regimen. Don't do that. We already talked about that earlier. How sleeping in, trying to get extra sleep and all that is not really going to benefit you much. Keep your regular pattern. If you normally go to bed around 10, 11 o'clock at night, and you normally get up at 6 in the morning, keep doing that. Keep doing that. The only difference should be now, instead of putting on clothes, getting clean to go out, you're getting clean and putting on clothes to be in the house. So, next thing we got, take an electronic break. You're on your phone right now watching me. You are on your tablet or on the whatever TV thing, and you're on these things all day long. Now, a lot of times, people will say, "Oh man, you need to get off of those things altogether." It's almost impossible because the reality is everything is on these phones. Everything is on these phones. The entire world is at your fingertips, and it's difficult to put that down because the dopamine hits never stop. They never stop. So you want to keep going. More and more and more and more and more. You want to scroll more and more and more and more and more. It's a never ending cycle. So be intentional. If you need to, set a clock, set an alarm on that phone, on that very device that you're using. Or if you have clocks or little alarm clocks or whatever around the house, set those at a certain time. And when that goes off, get yourself disciplined enough to say, all right, that's it, done. Take a break from screens. Take a break from phones, tablets, TV, all of that. If you have books, read a book. Read an actual book. The difference that your mind, your brain experiences from reading words on a page, on a natural page, actual paper, versus electronics all day long will blow your mind. You will be shocked at just how much your brain will be like, oh my gosh, thank you. I almost forgot how to read off of paper. So there's a lot of mental benefits, a lot of psychological benefits. Read a book, read a magazine, or take the time and sit with your thoughts for a moment. We're going to get into that a little bit later. Go for a drive. If it's safe to do so, if you're able to get out of your neighborhood, if you're able to get out of your apartment complex, go for a drive. Especially if you have been in the house for quite some time. It is so good to just get out and see people. Get out and be out and about. Also with that, this is going to go into the house cleaning thing. Open up a window. Open up a few windows. Open the door a little bit. I know it's cold, it's freezing, I know. So you don't have to leave it open forever. But you have been breathing in that closed up box. It doesn't matter if it's a 1-bedroom apartment like this or a 5-bedroom house. You've been in that box for however long it's been. You've been breathing in and out in that same box. You've been snoring in that same box. You've been sneezing in that same box. You've been coughing in that same box. Some of y'all have been farting in that same box. All of this. What you need to do is open up a window, open up a door, and let fresh air come in. Exchange that used up air. Get some fresh air in there. Because that helps your mood. I'm even going to break it down like this. Some of you may be in the process of trying to elevate yourself from where you are mentally to another place, to a higher place, to a better place. And you may be wondering, why do you have so much of a blockage? Why can't you get there? Well, I'm going to tell you this. When you breathe out anxiety, when you breathe out stress, when you breathe out depression and all these things, if you don't air that place out, you still got depression breath all in the room. You still got anxiety breath all in the room. You still got stress breath all in the room. The things that you're trying to let go of, you're breathing it right back into your body. So you want to elevate yourself to a better mental place. Open up the windows, open up the doors, let that place get fresh air so you can breathe in a fresh mindset, breathe in a fresh look at your situation so that now you can actually get to that better mental, emotional, psychological place. Also, invest in some plants. Invest in house plants. House plants do a great job of filtering out the, the air and all the things that we just talked about. Get some house plants. Do that. But getting back to the driving, sometimes just getting out and just seeing people and reminding yourself that there is still a certain sense of normalcy, even in the midst of the being snowed in, that can help you get out of whatever funk that the cabin fever is trying to get you in. So, one of the things that we spoke of earlier that I said I was going to come back to was sitting with your thoughts. Now, this can be a scary thing for some people. Because for some folks, you haven't done this in a long time. So you may not even be familiar with your own voice that's in your head. You may be so used to having everyone else's voice, everyone else's opinions, everyone else's thoughts, everyone else's view of what you should be and what you should do. You might be so used to having all of that that you're not even familiar with your own voice, with your own thought, with your own thinking patterns. That can be a bit intimidating. Also, there's some of you that have had some really bad thoughts. And I think you know what direction I'm heading with that. Now, there are a number of outlets if you are one of the people that are having one of those kinds of thoughts. And remember, Style by Mr. Reed is here for you all. I don't want you to have those kinds of thoughts in your mind. Because the one thing I don't want you to do is try to play that out. So please, if you don't reach out to me, if you don't become my client, get help somewhere. And do it sooner than later. Because I want to see you here. I want to see you still here. All right. So, sitting with your thoughts. This is the beginnings of meditations, prayers. Why is this so important? When you're navigating through life, not only do you have the opinions of family members, friends, associates, co-workers, strangers on the internet, and a whole host of other things and people that I'm not even thinking of right now. It's only one voice that's yours. But there's a plethora of voices that are not yours, that you are completely inoculated with. There's my word for the day, inoculated. You are inundated. That's a better one. You're inundated with all these other people's voices, other people's thoughts, other people's views. And that's based on their experiences, based on their life, based on their upbringing, based on their uh, likes and dislikes. The danger in having more of that than your own opinion, thoughts in your head is you will begin to lose yourself. And that's one thing you don't want to do. If you lose yourself, you're going to try to find yourself in every unhealthy outlet available. And there are plenty of unhealthy outlets available. And it's very easy to take on an unhealthy thing and consume it, knowing it's unhealthy when you're starving. Because at that point, it doesn't matter. So, this is why it's important to have this moment to intentionally sit down with your thoughts. And this can be a very daunting task, especially if you've never done it before. So, grab yourself one of these. Get a pad, get some post-it notes, whatever it is. Get you a pencil, pen, and just start writing things down. Random things that are in your head. Because what will end up happening is all these random things, you'll eventually start finding a path. It will eventually happen. You'll eventually start organizing yourself up here. So, sitting down with yourself intentionally and actually meditating goes into looking at yourself, seeing what's there, because it is very hard to start from where you are and to get to where you want to be if you don't know where you're starting from. So we got to get down to where you're really starting from. And a lot of times that may initially mean taking all the other voices, getting them out of your head. All the other opinions, getting them out of your head. Now that fact right there, that action right there is very much easier said than done. And in some cases it'll never happen. So how do you do it? How do you deal with that? Well, there's some things that you get over, and there's some things you just become stronger than. And sometimes you just have to strengthen your own voice so that your own voice gets stronger than the voice of others. You have to strengthen your own opinion so that your opinion matters more than others. How do you do that? Read something. Read something. Study something. Something constructive, something useful. Do you know how much time is spent on these things here? And you can spend hours. I'm talking about go from a full battery to only 10% left. And the entire time, the only thing you did was mindlessly scroll on a big bunch of exciting dopamine burning nothing. Get intentional about that thing. Look up things intentionally. Learn some things. Maybe maybe there's some applications where there's like a daily fun fact or something like that. You can use that and go from there. Research what it is that you just came across, or some things that you may be curious about. How do you file taxes? You know, what is the right wing? What is the left wing? Why do they call it a wing? You know, all these things like that. You know, all kinds of random questions. Start looking around for answers. And see, what will happen is you'll start finding different questions that you have, different things. And after a while, you'll start becoming more constructive about your time on these things here. Turn it off. I just turned it on by mistake. Yeah. When you meditate, when you take your time and really sit with your thoughts, you have to be non judgmental. Be non judgmental about yourself. Because there may be a few things that run through your mind, and you wouldn't like if someone else had that thought or expressed that thought. But now you have that thought right now. Do you hate yourself? Are you a bad person? No. Do a little research. Do a little digging. Why is it in my head? Is it something that I put in my head, or did I watch a commercial? Did I scroll on my endless scrolling? Because remember, it all kind of gets recorded up here and gets stashed somewhere in there. Is this really my thought, or is this a thought that was kind of given to me by outside sources? Overhearing a conversation here, talking with this person, and they were just talking a bunch of crazy stuff. Being on this thing and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling endlessly. Whatever it is, half of the time, some of the crazy thoughts that you have in your head are not even your own. They're not even your own. So you have to do some soul searching, some real digging to determine what is it that you think. You think, not the voice of your friend talking, not the voice of your coworker talking, not the voice of your neighbor talking, not the voice of uh, the family member that you talk with for the most part. Your voice. Is that even your own thought, or is it their thought that's just swimming around in your head? Your brain is a repeater box. So this is why you have to be very careful about what it is that you allow your repeater box to intake. I made a video about this, talking about your mental diet. You have to be careful what it is that you're putting in there, because what you put in here is what you get out. It's what you get out in your speech. It's what you get out in your actions. It's what you get out in the things that you choose to do. It's what you get out in your judgment, your decision making. And when it's time for you to actually think critically about something, that's where you're pulling from. You're pulling from whatever it is that's in your mental diet. So, being snowed in, being stuck in the house, being stuck with your thoughts can be a scary thing, can be a bit intimidating. But if you be intentional about it and realize that all these things are going to be contributing to what I call your overall presentation package, and all these things are going to be contributing to getting you to being the best you that you can be, then you're going to have a bit more bravery about doing this. And you can come out of this being stuck in the house thing on top. Come out better. So, that was just a bit of a rant from Style by Mr. Reed to all of you during this time when a lot of people are stuck in the house and kind of going stir crazy. So keep these things in mind. And remember, be intentional. Be intentional about the things that you do and the things that you mentally consume. Because in times like these, when it's just you in the house and your thoughts, that's when everything that's there is going to be on full display. So then the question is, what's going to be there for you? You need help with this. You need assistance trying to figure these things out. Visit stylebymrreid.com. STYLEDBYMRREID. Stylebymrreid.com. Take a look around. See what speaks to you. Book your session with me. Let's get you to the best you that you can be. I'm simply going to be your mirror check before you hit that front door. So, folks, I'm going to finish this coffee. Till next time, take care. Be intentional about what goes in